Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope you are doing amazingly well today. Whether this is the first time you've ever clicked onto this channel, whether you are returning or a brand new subscriber, welcome, welcome. Before we get into our amazing reading today, special shout out for those of you who have been following the Unicorn Light podcast. Exciting news. We have the episode 5. This one is a good one. It is up and it is live, and it's the art of self-love in the new earth. So we will be talking and deconstructing about how you can really actively bring in self-love, all of the stuff that you've never heard before, specifically pertaining to the new earth, or how we are now, or how we can be if you choose to be. So it's fantastic. It is up on iTunes and I believe Google and Spotify. All the links are down below. So if you have not been following the podcast thus far, naughty, just kidding. But if you want to, it is right there for you. Again, this is episode 5. But this self-love episode is going to be fantastic. And it's also, of course, working with the energy that we will be working with today. So feel free to check it out if you want to. Thank you to everybody who has rated beautiful messages for the podcast so far. Deeply appreciate every single one of you and all of your feedback. Thank you so much. It means more to me than you will ever know. So let's get on to our reading. Today we are doing a new moon in Sagittarius reading. And of course, we have that beautiful solar eclipse. So we have this really gorgeous energy. And there are some new beginnings in here, a new earth beginning. If we choose to take it, it's always up to us, free will. Earth is a free will zone. So this will be a wonderful reading. And this will be uploaded the day before the new moon. So this will be right around the energy that we were dealing with, that we are dealing with the new moon. But this new moon and this eclipse is some sort of a little bit of a portal too. So this energy will be in and around us for many weeks afterwards, and will definitely hold the themes that are coming up for us to bring us through the end of 2021 into 2022. So it's going to be relevant for a little while. So as always, we have 3 piles, and what I've done is I've put a different card on each pile just so you can get a different sense of the energy. However you choose your pile is your own private, personal business, of course. But if you're looking for differentiation on some of the energy or the visuals, then this will help you choose. So this is pile 1 here. And then pile 2, you can see, and pile 3 here. So again, however you choose, these piles are completely up to you. It could be the visual sense. Regardless, the more you are integrated into your own body, like really clearly within and possessing your own body and in touch with your own intuition, the more these readings are going to resonate. As always, these are general readings, so do take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And let's get right on to these readings. So let's put aside pile 2 and pile 3 for now. So, and of course we have our candle magic, with our beautiful magic candle in the back. So we have the new moon in Sagittarius eclipse reading, and it's a new earth reading. So we'll get right into it. So we have a tarot here. I'm going to start with your oracle and move through. So you're very close to achieving your goal. Wonderful. And you've got the void. Let's see what we have here. And you have the 1. You have the star. This is absolutely wonderful. All right. So as you know, the backdrop to all of these readings is the new earth is here. It's up to you whether you want to stay in this energy, whether you want to release into this energy. And again, we've been talking about in this channel and on the podcast too, there's lots of different ways to sort of release the energy of the old and move in to the new energy and keep that energy up, keep that vibration up. And for you, this is a way forward for you should you choose it, but there's always a choice where you want to stay, what you want to believe, what firm reality you are creating for yourself. Obviously, this is all you. Earth is a free will zone. Yeah, there's karma, there's other things that are going on with it, but it's a free will zone. We get to say and do what we want. That's the beauty of it too, right? Many different ways to see things and do things, so many different ways to grow. It's absolutely important. But if you're not really encased in who you are and absolutely have that firm foundation for yourself, you're always going to sort of you're not going to have that rooted feel to yourself, and life can get a little frustrating or overwhelming, or trying to figure out what the next move is or where you start and other people begin and all this other stuff. So you've been working on building those deep roots and foundation for yourself. And now for you, it's really all about understanding, and let's move in with this. It's really about understanding what it is. It's not about understanding what it is that you stand for. That you've really figured out. And there's a flexibility in that too, because that can shift and change, right? But it's not about standing in the energy of what you already know to be true. It's standing in this energy of claiming it completely and totally and putting your 2 feet in. And this is a general theme, beauty, absolutely. So this is a general theme of what's going on in the collective right now. And for this one, you've got step out of your comfort zone, beauty. Yeah, this is a case of you. And if you've had a couple of these readings recently, because this has been a little bit of a theme, and it depends, it's come up randomly in different cards, so in different piles. So if you've been with me for a little while and this has come up for you before, then take heed. Do with this information what you want. But this is not about you researching and figuring out more. This is about you deciding, right? Now, this is you deciding in some direction, moving in some direction. It's all going to figure itself out. It doesn't have to be an enormous gesture into the world. It can be a baby step, but it's action orientated. It's about moving forward and having faith in the beauty that you have. Again, you've built that really, really firm foundation about where you stand and what you stand for in this lifetime. And it's not this really sort of enclosed, I've got this, that, and the other. It's not this sort of manifesto that you have. It's like, I stand for beauty, I stand for truth, I stand for gorgeousness, whatever it is that you have. It's something that's universal, but it's something that's very clear to you. It's something that you can attune to and you can express through your individuality and through your authenticity in this lifetime. And there's also for a lot of you something that you truly want. And it can be difficult for you to figure out how to get there, because some of what you want seems sort of far away, or it seems sort of quite big in a way. It seems sort of quite large and maybe outside of your reach. So sometimes there's a little bit of a difficulty in trying to figure out how to get there, even though there's a practical side to you that goes, one step after the other and we get there. But this is about you being on that journey and choosing something. Now, for some of you who are confused about the movement forward, choosing something is absolutely fine. Obviously, check in with your intuition and move forward. But making a decision and taking action and just doing it is fine. Once you step that action, right, it's like a chessboard. When you start the game, you physically move, right? If you're just sitting there trying to figure out your move, then the game never starts. So even if you're just moving that pawn, even if you're just moving it one step, you've started the game. The universe is going to come in and help you. So you're being called to action here. And you're being called to everything that you've learned, everything that you've digested, everything that you've figured out and filtered through. There's been a lot of filtration with you, taking in a lot of energy. And it used to be transmuting, but now it's filtering. Now you're filtering through. You've gone through the transmuting phase, and now you're filtering through. You filtered through. You filtered through. So you have a whole system here that you have. You now know where you stand. You've also been working on that firm foundation. So it's about taking that energy into the world and not overthinking what it is that you do. Again, baby steps, action, do something. Absolutely stand in that energy and trust whatever it is that you do. If you do it with an open heart and you're doing it very much in touch with your higher self, you literally cannot go wrong. The universe is going to step up, meet your energy, and put it forward. Now, again, some of you have been in this, not even a void necessarily, because the void can be kind of a really beautiful place where you find out more about yourself, right? You're in the safe hold and you're finding out more about yourself, and you have this sort of respite for you to sort of figure out and how to integrate. But you're not even really in the void. You're coming out of that. This is like, for some of you, there's just a little bit of that frustration of, I've gone through these ups and downs. I've gone through this and I figured out this. I don't know my next move. So you're a lot closer than you think. And you're only going to be able to see how close you are if you take that first step. And like we said, just move it forward. Just move it forward. You don't have to overthink about what that step is. That's not really your job necessarily. As long as you are attuned with your higher self and doing this with a sense of joy and beauty. This is also something that's been coming up in the collective too. Really understanding that joy and that beauty and coming into that appreciation for who you are. There's an absolute beautiful sense to you. And bringing back the beauty into the world. I don't know if it's the way that you articulate yourself or the way that you stand in the world, or the work that you actually do. But there's a lot of beauty in that. And when people are in and around that energy, it elevates them. So there's nothing that you can do that goes wrong. And we want to remind you that you've been working on this. You've been working on yourself for such a long time. This is not the time necessarily to work on yourself. This is the time for you to be out and about, and then allow everything that you have been working on to integrate fully and move you on further. Now, of course, you're a work in progress. We all are. And you're going to grow and thrive like everybody else and move forward. I mean, if they choose to. But this for you is a time for integration. And it's a time for you to have a lot of those aha moments. You're not going to have those aha moments if you're sitting on your bed in your room by yourself. For now, you've had a lot of those aha moments sitting on your bed in your room before, but you're not getting the same sort of energy as you did before. And that's frustrating you a little bit because you figured out a lot of who you are by being on your own and separating yourself a little bit. And that was important for you to do. But now it's that integration stage, moving this one step further. So underneath this, you've got, you've got this energy here of being pulled down just a little bit. And it's this sort of this energy that keeps trying to pull you in. So, we're not going to freak you out or anything like that. There's nothing dark or sinister around you, but there's energy that senses your light and wants to take away the action of what you're doing a little bit by, and this is what society does too. It puts you in a position where, you're on a track, where you are, and then it takes you off and it overwhelms you. So you want to numb yourself or, put you in a position where, you get overwhelmed by other people's energy, and then you feel off track a little bit, or something where you're second guessing yourself. So there's something that you might be doing, whether it's looking at the news or whatever it is that you're doing, that's actually taking you a little bit off track or having you second guess yourself when you don't need to. The energy that's in and around you is really old energy. It could be old energy that's coming up for you. That's a little bit of the doubting process. None of this needs to affect you. It's absolutely old, and it's just a matter of you being very firm about the energy. But it makes you doubt yourself sometimes. It feels like you're on the edge of, I'm ready to do this. And then you pull back a little bit because you're not so sure. Or a little bit of that energy sort of like filters, you allow it to filter through just a little bit because you're like, let's see what's going on in the world. However you deal with that is up to you. We're not telling you to cut yourself off from the world. We're telling you to do the opposite. But there's ways in which you can protect your energy and maintain your frequency by staying true to yourself. So if something at the very beginning, right, doesn't feel right to you and you feel it in your intuition, there's no reason for you to entertain it further. In the past, you would be like, you're really good at this, Pawan. You let everybody be who they are, which is absolutely wonderful. That's not something that's going to change, nothing that we're asking you to change. That's a beautiful part of you. But, in this conversation, you could have picked up some beautiful gems from people because, what they say and what they're really saying are two different things. And you can differentiate between the two of them, right? But now it's important for you when people step up with that energy and that frequency, regardless of what they say, that's the energy and the frequency they have right now. For you, it would be good to assess the frequency and where they're coming from initially. And if it's not where you need to be, you don't need to be in and around that for now. You don't need to go through and find those nuggets of information right now. I'm sure they'll be there. But as you're moving forward, as you, and it's not really a protection energy, and it's not like, I don't need to be around you. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It's just about putting your energy first as you're moving forward, and you're putting your energy into what you want to do. Preserving your frequency is the best way to do it, right? So that's just one way that you can do this. And then you have the Seven of Pentacles coming in for you're very close to achieving your goal. So it really is about leaving this comfort zone that you have. There's a comfort zone where you never doubt your power. You never doubt that, and you're not even like afraid of success necessarily. It's not like you don't believe that you can achieve that what it is that you want. And what it is that you want for most of you is quite lofty. It's quite big. If you've had this dream since childhood and you still have it, it's in your blueprint. Chances are you're going to do it in this lifetime. There's no reason why you wouldn't. Most people have very lofty ideas of when they're a kid because they're figuring out their imagination, and I want to do this and I want to do that. And just because they don't end up doing it doesn't mean they're a failure. It's beautiful that their imagination is out there. But if this is something that you've wanted from childhood, chances are it's in your blueprint. You're going to get it. That's what you're here to do. But it does require an act of faith. And you can do that. It's not that it's outside of your realm to be able to do that. You're absolutely able to do that. But there is a part of you, there's a little bit of real talk here, pal one. There's a part of you that does like that comfort zone. There's a part of you that does like to sort of put themselves out there, but then they like to be able to look back and be able to see where they came from. This is going to require you to sort of move, not necessarily in a new direction, but take in a new kind of energy. Now, it doesn't require any kind of more faith than you have. It doesn't require any more power than that you don't possess. It doesn't even require like a lot of courage necessarily. You have enough courage to be able to do it. It's the willpower of wanting to do it. It's not exactly that you're lazy, but there is a part of you that still revels in that comfort zone a little bit, if we're being honest. So it's, your guides are kind of pushing you forward, and you've just got to do it, and the jump that you're going to make is actually going to be a new jump. It's going to be a jump that you've not made before. It's going to be with energy and intention that you've not moved, that you've never actually utilized before. So it's going to yield different results. And this is where you are, and it's ready to do it. And this new moon and eclipse is ready for you to do. It doesn't have to be done on the new moon, but you're ready to do it. And you're ready to sort of embrace the abyss. Now, it might feel like that to you, pal one, but it's not really the abyss. It is the unknown, right? Before, when you were working through things, there was an essence of doing something that was new. It wasn't entirely unknown, though. This is brand new, so it's entirely unknown. So you have the Nine of Wands here with the void, and you have the Five of Cups. So yeah, it's moving through this old energy of, it's almost like there's a part of you that's really, really, it's almost like you want a done deal. You want it to be, you want guaranteed success before you put your foot in there, or there's an element of that. And it's not because, you're lazy or you don't think you can get it. It's just you don't want to waste your time on something that's not going to work anymore, right? Because in the past you've done things, you've been somewhere that, you didn't want to be, or when you look back on your life, there was 2 years and I did this and I didn't want to be there. No, that's fine. You still had all those experiences. You got all that wisdom. That's fine. But that's not a way that you want to work in the world anymore, which is totally understandable. But again, this new way of working in the world is not going to happen like that. It does require you getting out there, though, but then it opens up new doors. Now, if it's not exactly what you want, the baby steps not exactly what you want, the fact is you're still on your path, and the universe will bring in what it is that you want. You're not going to, so we can quail any fears right now. There's no way in high heaven that you're going to go down any of these roads and it's going to lead you to somewhere nowhere. If you are concentrated and you're working from your intuition and your higher self, you cannot go wrong. Stop comparing it to your past and stop trying to figure out what it's going to look like before you leap. This is going to require you leaping and having faith. And you have the Seven of Swords. Yeah, you have all this energy here. You have all this energy that's, there's a part of you that's trying to work through different aspects of self. There's a part of you that's ready to do this, that's passionate to move forward. Let's do it. I'm ready. And then there's a cautionate side of you that's saying, I don't want to spend time getting out of this, situation if it doesn't work. Maybe we should wait for another sign. Maybe we should wait for this, that, and the other. No more waiting. Take that step. No one's asking you to take this huge leap. spend $1 million, what this, that, and the other. You can take the smallest baby step with the biggest intention, and all of your intention and energy is behind it, and you will work through it. Something will come of it. Something will move you in the right direction. And at the very least, what you're doing is building that energy and that trust with the universe. And that's how you're going to build your life. And it's going to be very different to how you built your life before. Now, this is a portal for you to do this particular new moon. All new moons are portals. Every day can be a portal. Everything's a portal. Your bathroom door is a portal, whatever. Water's a portal. But this is a special portal for you to work through and walk through if you want to, with the energy and working with the energy, with the eclipse energy of the brand new energy in the Sagittarius and the new moon too. Moving you forward, expansiveness. And don't try and figure out what it's going to look like, because you will not be able to figure that out. It's just about moving forward and enjoying the journey too, because it's all building something, and you don't have to figure out quite what it's going to look like with the building either. It's just a matter of energy. So the simplest ways to break it down: if you move forward and it's in alignment, you're going to feel excited to be able to do it. Even if you're exhausted, putting in the hours or whatever it is that you're doing with your divine and aligned action, you're going to enjoy what you do. If you keep enjoying it and it brings you joy, then that's exactly the path that you need to be on. If it's something that isn't quite doing that, then ask the universe to step in and steer you off in the right direction. Again, you're not in the wrong direction, but you might need just a little bit of tweaking with this. But just stay in the direction of what brings you joy, what brings you beauty. Always check in with your intuition, and of course work with the universe at any given time, and always say to the universe, I want something in my future. We are working directly from the higher self, and that way you're not working with other timelines. They're just lesser than that you have to work through in order to get to that higher timeline that's working with your higher self. Just go ahead and do it now. All of the work and all of the healing that you've been done is to get you on the highest timeline, is to get you exactly where you need to be, connected to your higher self and living that higher minded life. You're ready to do it. You just need to step into it. So beautiful, Power Ones. That's what we have for you. And all of the energy with the portal energy in and around the new moon will be able to help you with this energy too. So don't forget the podcast. That's going to help you too, especially with the new episode about self-love and how to bring in self-love in the new earth. So it's not all this 3D stuff. It's about getting rid of all of the 3D stuff to come back to you. So that might help you out. And of course, if you have not subscribed, we would love to have you. So do hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. That would be wonderful too. That absolutely helps the channel. And of course, hit the bell notification, because then you will be notified every time a beautiful reading comes up. And 2 to 3 a week, that's what we're at. And all of these free resources and so many other readings too that are, in and around the collective for the last year or so. So until we meet again, you go be you, Power One. Take care. Hello, beautiful Power Twos. If you are here, this is your reading, and we are doing a new Earth reading, new moon in Sagittarius, and solar eclipse reading, what this energy is in and around you, how to navigate this energy. And of course, we have the beautiful magic candle in the back. So we are going to start off with, we're going to start off with your oracle cards, and then we will move into some more cards and tarot also. So let's see what messages we have for you. Self-love. I love that. Luck is on your side. It's got new moon in Sagittarius. Look at this, because it is a new moon in Sagittarius coming in. And we have the King of Swords. So this is an element of you to really come into that trusting side of who you are and really allow for all of that expansiveness. You've been working on yourself a lot. There's been a lot of activations. There's been sort of a lot of ups and downs in energy, pal, too. So this is a way for you to sort of breathe into this energy and really allow this expansive energy. It feels as though a lot of you have been sort of on this track, like sort of running, figuring things out. All right, that doesn't work for me. This does work for me. That doesn't work for me. But it's been a task. It's been a little bit of a chore at times, and it's been hard work. In some ways, it's been a pleasure, and there's been a lot of breakthroughs. There's been some frustrations. There's been some tears. It's definitely been a journey, right? Now you're being asked to sort of solidify that journey so you can let that journey go and move on to something new. And this is really, taking in all of the energy that you have and really allowing it to integrate. So you have this beautiful flexibility and this expansiveness. In that energy of expansiveness, when you slow down and really allow for all of the energy that you've been through recently and all of these insights that you have to really immerse yourself in them, write them down even, really immerse yourself into these beautiful insights that you have. You're going to be able to see how you will be able to utilize that, how different you are, how much you've changed, and really sort of delve deep into that. And from that, you get a new version of self, and also the way in which you start treating yourself, the way in which you see yourself, the way in which you work in the world is going to be a little bit different. Now, for some of you who are a little bit frustrated about I've done all this work and I want to move forward, but a little bit frustrated, that's kind of the energy in the collective right now. It's not because you need to do more work or figure out more stuff or there's more stuff to be healed, not at all, quite the opposite. It's because you've been on this journey and you're used to sort of moving through and transmuting energy and keep going, keep going, keep going. You haven't had the chance to, slow down and integrate and sort of take stock of where you are. When you do that and you take that slowness, when you slow it down, that's when you're going to find this sort of the truth and integrity is sort of updated within you. And all this knowledge is actually going to really integrate in such a beautiful way. And you're going to be able to see how different you are. And it's going to provide you sort of a new timeline or a new path to move forward. So there's a little bit of the missing piece of the puzzle in moving forward. And it's not more that you have to do. Some of you are on this, there's more to do, there's more to do. There isn't. If anything, slow down and take into account everything that you have done already. And in that silence, in that non-movement, that's when you're going to get this idea of moving forward. Now, these ideas that might come up to you might seem a little bit strange at first. They might be, not out of left field. Oh, I'm interested in this field, this area. So I'm not surprised that it came up, but I didn't think I would want to do that within that. But all of these beautiful ideas that are coming up, pay attention to them because there might be a new path for you coming in. Again, it's not going to be based on something out of nowhere necessarily, but you've got fruition coming into fruition. Absolutely. Don't let your past hold you back. So again, for you, it's not that you're letting your past hold you back exactly. It's just that you keep going and trying to heal from the past, which is totally fine, right? But you have reached a plateau where we're always going to be healing and expanding and moving forward. But, this really is a time to again, stop, take stock, integrate, and really allow these new ideas, like where you've come, to match with these new ideas coming in. And these new ideas are going to be really, really fun. And you'll probably be able to instigate them in various different ways. And of course, this is general reading. Each one of you will be different in how you move with this energy. But it's all about letting the past come to fruition and shift forever. Now, if we're constantly going back to the past and bringing it up or referring to it, then we're never really done with it, right? So for your gift of this portal here, and this portal of the new moon and this eclipse energy, is being able to completely leave your past behind, integrate it fully and take stock from it. And there's new pearls of wisdom that are in all of the energy that you've done and all of the healing that you've done that you haven't quite integrated yet. And when you do, and it's all about your personality and personal power and how you see yourself, because that's key to success. You can be the most powerful person in the world, the most talented person in the world. But if you don't believe you deserve what you get, you're only going to get limited results. You can have the healthiest, cleanest diet in the world. You can be a 7th level vegan, right? You can be all of that. But if you don't think that you deserve what you want in this world, you're not going to be able to digest properly, and all of that beautiful food that you're putting in your system, it's not going to do what it needs to do. When I trained with a macrobiotic chef many years ago, I trained in macrobiotics for many years. The first thing she said to me is, I can teach you how to cook. I can teach you this lifestyle, right? But health is within you. If you don't believe that you deserve any of what I'm giving you, or you don't believe that you deserve anything in this lifetime, or what if if you're dealing with that low self-worth, you're not going to digest properly, and that's going to affect your health. And that is something I cannot teach you. That's something that you need to do. I can teach you this. This is up to you. So this is really about working with that energy too, of really nurturing yourself and nurturing yourself from these pearls of wisdom of everything that you've been through in the past, but also being very firm about, I'm not going to redirect that energy anymore. I don't need that energy anymore. I'm going to take that wisdom for once. I'm going to see how far I've come, and I'm never going to look back. This is a chance for you to say goodbye to your past for good, and not be at mercy of it in any way, shape, or form. And this portal and this new moon in Sagittarius will help you do that. It will support you doing that if you're open to that. Now, on the other side of this, you have expansiveness. You have a new relationship with self, which of course shifts your outer reality immediately, right? And it also fuses some extra energy into the personal power that you already know that you possess. You already know that you possess this beautiful power that you have, but you don't know how to wield it yet, not to its fullest effect, right? And the odd time that you've brought it out, people have been intimidated by it, and then you've pulled yourself back a little bit. But the reason why people were intimidated by it is because you didn't own it completely. People sensed it from you, but you didn't own it completely. This is a way for you to own your energy, own your truth, own your honor, own everything, and release your past completely. So let's see what we have. And again, the energy of this new moon in Saggy, all about expansiveness there. And of course, this eclipse now is going to be supporting you doing this. Now, this is something that's been coming up with you for a while, because this eclipse energy is sort of the culminating energy of things that have been going on for the last couple of months. So this is nothing that's come up that's brand new for you. In actual fact, you've been working on this. This is a way for you to end this cycle that's been going on. Now, we don't want to be bad about this cycle or have anything awful to say about this cycle. This cycle has brought you so much truth and beauty. It's brought you a lot of frustration, again, some tears, a lot of ups and downs too. So this promises to be a much smoother journey once you say goodbye to your past. And again, there's nothing in the past. Oh, as I throw these tarot cards everywhere. There's nothing in your past that you really need. Some of you like to go through old information again and again to see if you've missed something. You haven't. You haven't missed anything. There's nothing in your mind that you can miss, because, your attention to detail is absolutely exquisite. Trust yourself. There's nothing that you've missed. There isn't. Okay, so you've got the Three of Swords, and it is reversed, which is gorgeous for the... So again, it's solidifying, moving past your past, everything that happened for a reason. And also some of that betrayal in your past too was to do with soul contracts and karma and things that we don't need to go into in this, but they've played out and it's done. Right? Everybody did the best that they could. It doesn't excuse the behavior around what happened. That's not what we're saying. But everything happened the way that it did. So nothing needs to go back to. There's no more nuggets of wisdom there. It's all played out. It's done. So, and that's the thing about soul contracts. Once they're done, they're done. You can feel it. Now, if you go back and keep regurgitating and bringing things up, thinking that you've missed something, then you've missed the point of working through a soul contract. It's done, right? And the beauty about those soul contracts, especially with people, not necessarily with situations, although it can happen, that you can build new soul contracts with some people. It's not at all unheard of for you to come back with somebody that you've had an old soul contract with that maybe wasn't the greatest connection, but you've gone off in different ways and you've both grown and you've learned. And when you come back, you can come back into each other's lives. But the trick is you'll have a new, or the beauty of it is that when you come back into each other's lives, you'll both have a new soul contract. But that cannot happen until the first soul contract and you walk away from each other, right? So there's a promise of other people coming in, or, soul contracts being, those being fulfilled and coming back. But again, they're not going to come back until you fully release them. So release all of those soul contracts, release everything and stop going back in any way, shape or form. You have the High Priestess here with self-love. I mean, this is about you really owning your energy and being really responsible for exactly where you are and everything that you've done and every decision that you made, right? Without playing the blame game. I did this, you did that. No, stop. Nothing. Nada. You don't need to do that. But claiming responsibility for everything that has happened to you puts you in this place of power, right? Accept exactly where you are. A lot of you were I don't know anybody who's really comfortable with it, but a lot of you were very uncomfortable with the darker energies within you or anxiety. And instead of working through it necessarily, there were other ways to numb things or and it doesn't have to be done with alcohol or drugs or anything really specific like that. There's ways of denying yourself, or those ways of thinking that dumb things down. There's so many different ways to deal with all of that anxiety, and projection is one of them. And in the past, you felt everything so clearly and so deeply. So it was too much for you. It was too overwhelming for you. But now you're in this really beautiful and unique place to you, where you can let all your energy come in. You're in a place where you're grounded enough to let all your energy come in. So if your anxiety comes up, you're in a position to actually see where it leads you by being the observer. Another thing that we talk about on the podcast this week. So I would check that out. That would be very good for you, because it's all about self-love too. But really stay accountable for that energy in a place that you weren't necessarily able to do before. And again, you needed to do what you needed to do before, and that was right for you. And we stand 150% behind that. But you're in a new place now to get new nuggets of wisdom by letting all of this energy come up and really be able to sort of read it. And we're not talking about the energy of the collective. We're talking about your own personal energy, right? And this brings you to new wisdom, to new heights of vibration, and new ways of seeing yourself and appreciating yourself for exactly what you've been through and who you are. You've got the 3 of Pentacles and luck on your side, and you've got the 5 of Pentacles, you're moving forward, and you've got the 8 of Cups. Absolutely. So this is all about taking that journey. This is all about moving forward. Now, that's going to be the energy of the collective anyway. It came up in pile 1, very different energy though. So this is all about, again, taking baby steps. But for you, it's about the inner baby steps to get to know you now. A lot of you don't know who you are anymore because you've been through so much growth. It's time to check in. And it's not going to take long. Please don't go down that rabbit hole of thinking it's going to take long. You need to take this course to get to know yourself, or I need this book before I don't know. Do the course if you want. Buy the book if you want. No one's going to tell you not to do it. That's great. But there's no more that you need on the external. You've got all of this to get to know yourself again, to regroup with all of the essences that you've brought up. And again, some of this energy that's going to come up for you, you're going to see it in a different way. In the past, you would be very, very nervous about anxiety coming up or depression coming up because that was overwhelming for you. And you didn't know necessarily how to get to the bottom of it. And there are various different ways that each one of you worked with it, right? And now you can see it through to the end. There's actually a gift for you at the end of this, at the end of anxiety, at the end of this depression. There's something on the other side of it. There's an absolute gift for you. And you're not going to be moving through it in the way that you did before, where you're feeling as though you're underwater and you can't breathe. Not at all. This is all about you being the observer and making friends with it. All right, you've got something to show me. I'm really interested to see what you've got to show me. And this is going to lead you to really having this very, very powerful relationship with your vulnerability, this very powerful relationship with being authentic, this very powerful relationship with being exactly who you are and standing for that in the world. Now, before, there was an immense amount of power that you had, but it's almost like you had too much power for your body at the time. You couldn't integrate it. You see, as we move forward in this lifetime, we are, if we were given all of that power right at the beginning, we'd blow out our circuits. That's why we activate a little bit at the time. That's why everybody's at different levels of activation. No one's above or below, but everybody has their own timeline for activating. That's why we can't get angry at somebody else, because you're literally saying you're not where I am, or this, how's that going to do anything? Everybody needs their own space and time to be able to come to this on their own terms. But you kind of had a different way of being in the world because you actually had a lot of that power coming in. And it did blow your gaskets a little bit. And you still had to grow into yourself and learn how to use it. But you dumbed down your power because it wasn't the right time to integrate it. So you actually had a lot of that power coming in, instead of people recognizing it and moving into it and activating into it and sort of steadily, incrementally working through it. So you were right to dumb some of that down. It was a matter of survival for you. That was absolutely right. But now you can really integrate and really get into that power and get to know it in a way that you never have before. And then you can stand in and ground in that power in a way that you never have before. That's going to open doors for you in the way that you never have before. You have the chance in this portal, if you want to really own your emotionality and your vulnerability in a way that makes you ironclad, in a way that you were not able to do before. And this is a way that you can help yourself shift your timeline. This is a way that you can help the collective just by doing this for yourself, right? This is a whole new level of upping your game, upping the ante. With doing very, very little, all you're doing is letting go and you're expanding, but at the same time, you're shifting everything around you. So this is an important time for you should you decide to do it. And again, the energies are supporting you doing this, and everything that you've been through has taken you to this point. So this should be kind of a no-brainer for you. Most of you who are still on this reading is probably going, yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I get it. There's nothing I don't know. And that's it. That's the art of a good reading, telling you something that you already know. But we also hope that you're going to use the reading as a little bit of a nudge to move you forward, to make sure that you do this, because there's no sense in waiting. It's not that there's an urgency and we're not pushing you to do anything that you don't want to do, but you're ready. You're absolutely ready. So this is a time, should you decide to take it upon yourself to use it or utilize it in this way, this is a time for you to shift timelines, stand in your own energy and really create this like gorgeousness with your own energy and get to know yourself in a completely different way. And of course, on the other side of that, you're going to be able to appreciate yourself and understand yourself a whole lot differently, which of course shifts the way you're going to see the exterior world, right? So that's what we have for you, Pal 2. And again, not to push this, but it's a free resource for you. What we were talking about in the new podcast, episode 5, it's about the art of self-love in the new era, in the new earth. So this would be absolutely wonderful for you. So do check it out. It's down below. And just, I haven't told anybody else this. It's just you. But halfway through, I'm not going to tell you where, but you can hear my cat snoring in the background. It's kind of cute. So you can look out for that too, as a little extra vavum, a little extra cat familiar magic, right? So that will definitely help you out. It very much pertains to what we're going through right now and help you and support you in that time. So if you feel called to, check it out. And of course, if you have not subscribed already, we would love to have you here at Unicorn Light Tarot. Feel free to subscribe and hit that like button. And of course, hit the bell notification so you can be notified anytime a new reading comes up 2 to 3 times a week. All right, my darlings, take care. Go be you, absolutely, all your gloriousness. Till we meet again. Bye-bye. Hello, beautiful Pal 3s. Last but not least, we have your magic candle here. And of course, we are doing a new moon in Sagittarius, solar eclipse reading, a new earth reading, some advice, some support for you to utilize this portal, this time in existence to your best ability. So let's go ahead and start with the oracle cards, and then we will move into more oracle and then of course tarot. So we have a time for healing, wonderful, and you've got the masculine here, number 42, and what else do you have? You have the 5 of Wands. So there is an energy of recuperation, of feeling a little bit depleted. For some of you, feeling a little bit defeated, but it's a good thing in a way. It's a good thing. So let us explain that. So some of you who have been sort of trying to figure this out, and this is very much in the collective right now, of trying to figure out the next step and moving forward. 5 steps forward, 2 steps backwards, this, that, and the other, navigating sort of the old earth and then the new earth and old systems crumbling. What do we do? Anyway, we all know this, right? So this is a way for you to navigate that. And there's an ideology that you've been doing for a lot of you, in order for you to fill out or figure out how to move into the 5D. You've been taking on the 3D essences, feeling as though that's what you needed to do. Now, for some of you, there's no right or wrong way to do this, but that's a more difficult way to do things. As the 3D is crumbling anyway, there's a lot of people who are helping it crumble, and that's wonderful if you want to do that. And that's part of what you were doing. In order to do that, sometimes you have to become very much a part of that 3D in order to crumble from the inside out. And for some people, that's actually in their blueprint. Different people and different star seeds are here for very different reasons, and they all have completely different missions, right? So that's something that you could absolutely do if you wanted to, and you're very successful in doing it. But the reason why it depletes you is because it's not exactly clicked into your blueprint. I did this for extra information on that. I'll link it below if I remember. If not, it's not that far behind. It's a relatively new reading, but what kind of light worker you are, you might want to check that out and see if that brings you in any more information. But for you, it feels like there's an exhausting element of being from within the 3D to be able to pull it down. Now, again, that's admirable. That's wonderful. There's no right or wrong way to do it. But the 3D is actually being pulled down. It's crumbling anyway, whether you're there pulling it down or not, right? It really doesn't matter. And actually, there's an easier way of doing this, to take some time out to recuperate, and to be actually, the other side of it is to actually come in from the 5D and then watch as what's going on with the totality of it, of the 4D and then the 3D. So a lot of the 4D is still attached to the 3D, but it's still waking up, right? There's a whole process of it. So, you don't have to get into the entire process to make sure that it's all coming down. It already is. And it's going to crumble anyway, and it's all going to come down whether you're in there pulling it down or not. And again, the reason why you're feeling a little bit depleted is because it's not part of your blueprint, but there's many different ways for you to be able to do this. So you're being asked to sort of step back a little bit and reaffirm why it is that you're here. And this is going to be really interesting for you, because there's a new aspect to your path that's coming in for you, and it's trying to come in for you. Now, each one of you, obviously this is different. These are general readings. So each one of you is going to be a little bit different in this. There's an essence of your path that's trying to make its way to you, and you can feel it and you can energize on it. And, there's an excitement there, a little bit of nervousness maybe, but you're not actually being able to act on it yet. And that's because you're still very much in the understanding of being within the 3D, trying to pull it down from the inside. All of your energy is within that. Now, for this new path to sort of really make itself known, and for you to sort of regroup and do things maybe a little bit differently, should you want to, if you want to, you can certainly make everything a lot easier for yourself. And also the same results are going to be there. That doesn't mean to say that all of the work that you did wasn't important. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that there are starseeds and other people who are here, who are actually here to really do that work. And they're doing it beautifully. And they're leading people in exactly the way that they're supposed to lead, from the 3D to the 4D and hopefully to the 5D. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. And they've been figuring this out for many, many different lifetimes. So they're on the top of their game. You're here to do other things. You've been helping them do that. And that's wonderful. That's great. But you can step away from this work knowing that other people who really know what they're doing, and they're doing a great job of it, are going to make sure that all this stuff crumbles down, right? They're going to be holding the light. They're going to be doing whatever they need to do. Now, the way in which they do it may not look as if the way that you want to do it, that's fine. But again, they're activated within that soul impression, within that blueprint. And that's the way that they need to reach out to other people. So it doesn't need to make sense to you at all, but they're doing it. So you have the chance here to let the experts, in a way, do their job, right? And you have the chance to really click into another aspect of your blueprint, should you want to do it. Knowing that the work is being done, knowing that everything it's absolutely beautiful. And the more chaotic it looks, the more glorious it is, because the more chaotic everything looks, the more everything is up and out. And we cannot heal until everything is up and out. So if everything's up and out, it means that everything's up for review. It means we can start healing, right? So everything's looking beautiful. Chaotic, glorious, violent, weird, all of this other stuff. Absolutely. But it's all exactly playing out the way it's supposed to. So you have the chance to let people do their thing and come on out on the other side and actually click into your blueprint in a way that you can. Requiring action and communication is the key. So you're here to communicate in a different way. You're not actually here to necessarily communicate in the way that the others who are working within the 3D, pulling it down from the inside out, are communicating. So that's why sometimes when they communicate, you're like, I'm not sure. That's fine. You don't have to agree on everything. Again, that's their blueprint. It's not yours. But that's the reason why it probably doesn't really hit home with you. Doesn't mean anybody's right or wrong. It just means that you are being directed in a new direction, right? So if that's happening to you, then this portal, this energy, this new moon, beautiful new moon in Sagittarius, expansiveness, gloriousness, right? And this solar eclipse that's coming in, it gives you the chance to support you in this energy of really clicking into the rest of your blueprint. Now, we're going to give you a little bit of real talk here, okay? Some of you have been purposely getting into the, some of it, seeming a little bit of the drama or a little bit of that pulling down the 3D from the inside the 3D. And then sort of going, I don't know if I believe this, da 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 da. You've been doing that because there's a part of you that knows that you're supposed to be doing something else, but you like to get caught up in some of that drama because it's taking away from what you really want to do. Because at the end of the day, there's not fear, but there's a little bit of trepidation about stepping into your actual path, right? So if you're having a little bit of that, if you're going from, I totally understand where they're coming from. I'm 100% behind everybody needing to have their own space and then going, I don't believe that. If you're going back between those two things, that's just letting you know that you need to get back into, click back into what you're here to do. And then once you're here to do that, you'll go back into everybody needs to do what they need to do. And I respect everybody's version of events, right? You'll go back into that mentality. That's just letting you know that you're putting it off a little bit for some of you. You're putting it off a little bit. So watch that ego if it's attracted to the drama because it knows at the end of the day there's a part of you that's going to be triggered by it. If you keep triggering yourself without going through why you're being triggered or just triggering yourself for the hell of it, because some of you are, because you know all of this stuff already, there's not much more energy you need to integrate. You're triggering yourself for the hell of it to take up some time to divert you from your other things that you need to do. So if you're wasting your time triggering yourself over and over again, then stop doing it if you want to. You're in a position to stop doing this. Just a little bit of real talk. But you're in a position to let that go. You're in a position to let the 3D go. You don't need to pull it down from within. Now, there's some nuggets of wisdom for you to be on this new path. And this is the light worker path. And it is more of a 5D new earth path, right? Seeing everything from the macro vision, from the sort of autonomous vision, again, seeing the whole total picture, because we can't judge things from one small thing. Everybody keeps being obsessed with one small piece of information. Like, I've got the key. No, you don't. You don't. It's all kind of melding together. There's so much more going on, right? So really, it's just a matter of being open to your next baby step and allowing yourself to be diverted sort of off the path a little bit, right? This is the time for you to do it. Now, we want to remind you that you're clicking into your blueprint. So even if you're being diverted off the path, you're really not. It's still part of your blueprint. You're moving in a different direction. But this is time for you to switch things up. Now, this is a general reading. It'll be different for each and every one of you. Some of it will be a little bit tweak in perception. Some of it will be a whole 180. I'm just doing this and I'm going for it. Whatever it is, whether it's a little or a small shift, it's going to be great for you. And each one of you has various different degrees of how you're working with this, right? But you are absolutely ready, and you have this in common with Pile 1. Very different energy, though, very different message. But it's all about the action. Now, if you decide to take a baby step in the direction of your blueprint activation, or you decide to do that 180 because you're like, yeah, no, I knew I was doing this. I'm ready to do this. Whatever you decide to do, you're ready for, right? So go with your intuition and stay with that. But yeah, no move is too small and no move is too big for each and every one of you. Just as long as it's aligned with your intuition and absolutely in line with your higher self. And moving out of the sort of the ego, because that's what's going on right now. Everybody's healing from the ego, but in order to heal from the ego, They're working from the ego to heal with the ego. So there's a little bit of going backwards and forwards here, but it will work out eventually. But you've been going round and round and round with the ego, and you can get off that merry-go-round. You don't need to keep going around with it. Again, it's not in your exact blueprint. You have the way to do that. You have the foresight to be able to do that too. And you have the energy behind you supporting you every step of the way as you move forward with this Sagittarius new moon coming in. Pretty much the same time this reading will be live or uploaded. But at the same time, it's not really, it's about the energy in the collective. So whenever you reach this, it's still going to be a timeless reading for you. So communication is the key. Yeah, you've got that King of Wands. You're ready to take that action. And instead of using it, you're ready to take that action, put it with your passion. And instead of using it to sort of hype yourself up, to get involved in the drama. And some of you are convincing yourself that as you do that, you're working through old stuff. And that's not entirely true. As you collect with that drama and you get triggered, you're reenacting old situations, but you're not exactly working through them. You've already worked through them. This happened in Paltu too. So you're a little bit stunted, some of you, but again, you've put yourself in that direction, in that kind of situation. So 99% of healing is really understanding where you are and understanding the situation for what it is. And then the rest of it is action, right? So you do understand exactly where you are. So this is nothing. This is nothing for you. This is just admitting it to yourself and moving off and allowing yourself to move in that new direction, right? So you've got the Four of Cups here. And you've got the Two of Cups here. So yeah, there's so much more opportunity coming in for you. There's a new soul family members coming in. There's new energy coming in for you once you pull yourself out from the internal of what you were doing. And again, just shifting your energy and again, for each and every one of you, it's going to be slightly different, but it's going to put you on a new path. It's going to put you on a much more exciting energy level, right? Right now you're a little bit up and down. One day you're up, one day you're down. It's like, some of you have whiplash. One day you're really down in the dumps, is the depression, and then the next day you're absolutely elated and you're absolutely without a shadow of a doubt connected to everything in the world. You know what you're doing, and this is a lot. That's because your energy is being divided in a way that it doesn't need to be divided. Again, leave that energy to the experts. They know what they're doing. It's not that you don't, but again, your expertise is being called somewhere else. Now, for some of you, it's in creative means, but it is about taking the energy, the passion, and the beauty and the articulation that you have and solidifying it in a different way. And it may look different to the work or the energy that you were putting in before. Because, when you're working with 3D, 4D, and then you work with 5D energy, it's going to be very different. It's going to feel very different. But both energies are really, really needed right now. And they're speaking to people in very different ways. So your audience might seem a little smaller. It might, but it really isn't. That's just sort of an illusion. It's more for you. So for some of you who are like, but I'm really needed here because this is going on, check in with your higher self. If you feel as though you're needed there, stay where you are. That's fine. But, there are other things that are coming in. There are other energies that are coming in. And there's new paths for you to take that really allow you to blossom and be really expansive with the specific attitudes, articulations, and the gifts that you were born with. The way in which you're pulling down, or the way in which you meshed your energy with those who are pulling down from the inside out, the 3D, kind of boxed you in a little bit, where it made them shine because that's their blueprint. That's what they're here to do. But it boxed you in a little bit. So it was always at, you were able to do the work and it was worthy work, but it was almost like you had to give up something to do it a little bit. There was a little bit of a compromising on your side. Whereas again, the people who are supposed to do it, there's not any compromising. They're thriving in it, right? So, and you can see their journey online, doing what it is that they do. So there's new love coming in for you. There's a new connection to self. There's a new connection to the new world, the new energy. There's new information, new downloads coming into you, right? new downloads that can be grounded into a really, really firm foundation. We've got a lot of people who are getting a lot of downloads, but they're still working within the 3D network. So, there's lots of different energies coming in, but yours can be a really clear vision, clear energy moving into a new type of energy that we kind of need too. And again, this is the energy that you're here to do. This is what you're here to do. And that perfectly complements what others are doing. You work together in different ways, and help sort of navigate this new world in different ways. So you have the Six of Cups here, and you have the Magician, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. So everything there is for you. So to be able to utilize your magic the way in which you can and meld it with your power and your beauty, it's all about being really specific about where your energy is and where you want it to, where you want to lend your energy and how you want to grow your energy. And it's important for you to acknowledge that whatever you were working on before, or however you were maintaining or managing your energy, may have just sort of ended in a way. There might be a new way for you to work with your energy. There's a natural ending in everything, right? And when you keep going back to it, you can feel as though, it's like you have a relationship, it's ended, but they're really fun. It's over. You're not confused about your feeling. You're still having fun. But at the end of the day, it's going to end, right? You're still having fun, but really at the end of the day, that nothing new can come in. And at some point, you just got to call it. You got to call it, right? So it's up to you when you call it. If you decide to call it, then this energy, this portal energy for the new moon in Sagittarius and the solar eclipse is absolutely supporting you do that. But again, always check in with your higher self and your intuition. And for each and every one of you, again, this is a journey for you. So we're getting you at a specific time of the journey, a specific point of the journey where this should make sense. And if it doesn't yet, it should make sense moving forward. But you should be already at the point of the journey where you're like, yeah, and I was trying to figure that out. All right, now I've just got to do it. And all it is redirecting your energy into the new, and really releasing the old, and just that expansiveness, bringing in that magician's energy that you have, bringing in that magic that you have, so you can use it to full capacity. The way in which you were working before, you were very powerful, but you had these wings, but they weren't able to really open. And if they did open, you weren't able to fly. So in this new energy shifting in, because you're clicking into the area of your blueprint that you're here to do, you're able to not only expand your wings, but you're able to take off. So this is your chance to take off, and it's up to you. The universe does not intervene. Even though it's a free will zone, you've got to ask for help, and they can nudge you in the direction, but you've got to take the action. You've got to see this as a possibility, and you've got to do this. And all the energy in the cosmos is absolutely supporting you and even nudging you down this new sort of energy of the journey. Not brand new, but a little bit more defined in what you can do. And with that, you get yourself this energy, new found relief and joy in what you're supposed to do, and feeling very connected because you're clicked into your blueprint of what you're really here to do, right? Not constantly being triggered for absolutely no reason, right? There's just no reason. And also the other side of it, the triggering has been the greatest help for you. It's been your greatest teacher in figuring out how you can release the 3D, how you can work with it. So all of these triggerings have been wonderful, but it feels as though a lot of you have made that connection to keep re-triggering yourself. Just seems like you're just, it seems like a loss of energy, but that's completely up to you. But now you're in this state of being able to utilize again your energy in a new way. And this is a very exciting way for you. New levels of healing, new people coming in, new expansiveness. Don't try and figure out what it looks like. You can figure out how you feel when it comes to you. That sounds amazing, but you're not going to be able to figure out what this looks like, because this is a magical journey, right? This is your chance to get back onto this magical journey and claim this magical journey for yourself and make things just a little bit easier. It always, I'm in awe of how difficult people make things for themselves. They really, including myself. My God, I've spent half my life overthinking, making things so much more difficult for myself. And, getting to the point where when things were easy, I didn't trust them, So bringing that all in, bringing that all in. I mean, when you are on your specific path, there will be trials and tribulations that come up. That gives you, that tells you that you're on the right path. You know, if it's completely easy, then, you know, that's a little bit different. But you know, it will feel aligned. It will feel easy, but there will be things that will be other things for you to work through. And that's something that you will figure out as you move forward. But all of those things will be beautiful challenges that don't need to trip you up. They're there literally for you to sort of integrate, like a video game. You know, when you go and you pick up whatever you're supposed to pick up, and now you're more powerful. It's more like that. You're not slowing down to figure out for many, many years how to work through this new bump that's come in the road. So if you're on the right track, all of this is coming in for you. And again, all of this expansive energy takes you into a brand new sort of magical life, and you'll be able to maintain that energy, that frequency, instead of kind of going all over the place, these ups and downs all of the time. So that's what we have for you, Pile 3. Very exciting time for you. And again, the podcast, which is the brand new episode, episode 5, which is the art of self-love in the new earth, will really help you to solidify some of that. There's some absolutely brilliant points to really decipher how all of this energy is working and coming back into the self-love, and really, really expanding your energy, and just day-to-day tips on how to work on this and having real self-love, you know, not this, you know, buy yourself a bath bomb and everything will be okay. Buy yourself a bath bomb too. That's wonderful. And have fun in the bath. But these are other things that you can be utilizing too after you've gotten out of the bath, right? Practical tips. So that's there for you. The links are down below if you like. And of course, if you have not subscribed, we would love to have you. So you can go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell icon to let you know every time a beautiful reading 2 to 3 times a week is uploaded. And of course, hit that like button. We are sending you so much love and support for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Go be you and enjoy this beautiful new moon and use it to your fullest advantage. Until we meet again, take care, Pile 3. Bye-bye.